You know, in the world of investing, the traditional way is to just invest into broader market ETFs. To invest into the S&P 500, gain your 10% per year, maybe 10%, sometimes it's not as much, and just find ETFs that are kind of a combination, right? Investing into multiple businesses at one time so that you can have that standard average return. However, things have been pretty interesting in the crypto market. And when you look at the gains that are over there, the gains that you can have with some of these plays and some of the plays that I have had specifically, you don't generally see that in the stock market, right? If you even invest into single individual stocks, it's still difficult to see 200%. It's still difficult to see 60%. It's still difficult to see 100, 500, 1,000%. The percentages that we see in the crypto market are just astronomical compared to the gains that you get in the stock market, right? So I want to talk about that. I'm going to do a comparison between things that I've invested for 500 days. Now, I had this money invested for a long period of time, but I more recently started buying SCHD, which is an ETF, Charles Schwab ETF, that you're including multiple businesses within it. So you should see that standard return over time. Now, with investing as you go along, as putting more money in there, things can change. You can gain different percentages, and over time, you can potentially gain that 10% that's there. But I want to compare the two. I want to compare Kronos, a play that I've been investing into $10 every single day for 500 days versus holding my SCHD and consistently investing into SCHD, how much I've been able to gain. Now, this is not factoring in dividends. Obviously, dividend payments are adding into that, and I can gain a decent amount from that. But this is primarily looking at the gains between the two just to show you why people are kind of transitioning into crypto, at least putting larger percentages of their net worth and of their income into cryptocurrency. So, before we get started, guys, hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell for more of these videos. Also, if you could check out the links for Patreon, for Twitter down below, those links are in the description. Now, don't forget about my link for BTCC if you guys are interested in maybe trading cryptocurrency. They have a lot of the popular cryptocurrencies, the newer cryptocurrencies. You have ones that you can have a 500x leverage, all of those things. But if you specifically use my link, you will get a 10% deposit bonus and extra bonuses up to $10,055, 40% lower trading fees, and you could trade all the way up to a 500x leverage. Now, it's very difficult. I don't recommend to trade for a 500x leverage, but as you go along and you get comfortable with it, you could potentially do that. I have a decent amount of trades, and I go through that on Patreon, so if you want to know about that, also check out Patreon down below. But again, that link is at the top of the description for BTCC. What we're going to do here, like I said, we're going to compare the two. Investing in a crypto and investing into the stock market. Now, it's not going to be the same amount that we've invested, but we want to kind of look at a percentage and how much we can gain overall compared to what we put in there. So for SCHD, let's start with the traditional side. For SCHD, it currently sits at $27.80. Over time, over the time that I've had it, it's grown by a decent amount, but it's more or less around this part right here, right? I've seen a decent amount of increase, but it's not a crazy amount, right? It didn't hit these overall highs of $29, currently at $27 there. So it is a little bit lower from where a little bit higher from where my average was, right? $27.11 is where my average is. I currently have 1,761 shares of that, worth about $48,970.93. Now, as you can see here today, the total return is about $1,201.41, or up 2%. I've been holding this and investing and doing all of this for about 500 days, right? I've been investing into it for quite some time. It's going on 2 years soon, and I'm only up $1,194.71. Now, some people might argue that this is not the best ETF that you can have, but it is a decently sized ETF that has significant growth that we've seen. I mean, in the past 5 years, it's up by 47%. So you can see that. It's just recently we haven't really seen that level of an increase, right? Now, When it comes to Chronos, on the other hand, Chronos currently stands at about 16 cents. And my average cost basis on that is about 10 cents, to where I did consistently invest $10 per day every single day for 500 days, which meant that I spent about $5,000 on this. And you can see that I'm up $3,202.20, slightly down for today. Now, to compare the two, right? It's very simple. I want to look at it from a percentage basis. And if we bring this up and we zoom in a little bit so you guys can see everything, Chronos, I invested $5,000 ish into it. SCHD invested was, let's say it was a little bit less than that, right? It's not 48,938. It's actually like 47,000. Yeah, let's just say it's 47,000, right? I'm not going to go through every single cent and dollar that I invested there. So I'm just going to give you a roundabout number. So $47,000. And then how much I was able to gain in the $5,000 for Chronos is $3,202.20. For SCHD, I gained $1,189.60. And obviously you looked at it, it was $1,200. But either way, it's about 3% for SCHD. Chronos is 64%. And some might even say, you look back at what we just showed, it was 66%. Because I invested, I guess, a little bit less there. But 500 days, it's like $500. And again, I invested at lower prices. So it's about $5,000. But sometimes it ended up decreasing a lot lower. And I would buy at like 5 cents versus buying at 10 cents. So it would continue to lower my cost basis. But nonetheless, around 64% is what I can gain. SCHD, I gained about 3%. Now, again, this is only 2 years. This is not factoring in a 5-year mark or a 10-year mark to kind of average things out and see SCHD around 10%. But even if it was at an average of 10% over that time, 20%, that still would be 44% short from what I can gain in Chronos. And we're just talking about percentages. I could gain so much more when it comes to Chronos and the growth that we've seen there. And this is not even it. This is why a lot of people are moving to the crypto market. It's very simple. They're moving to the crypto market for higher gains, higher percentages, with a lower amount that they can invest. So if you have $100,000, you don't have to put the whole $100,000 into cryptocurrency. They're opting to put 10,000, 20,000 into cryptocurrency and then putting the 80,000 over into traditional markets, which is fine. And some people are going the aggressive route, 50-50, or even more than that, 60-40, because they're able to gain so much more in this speculative market that gives you so much more in the end, right? That provides you with a newer use case and the ability to stake and do something different than what you've seen in the past, especially with anybody that's younger. So hopefully this gives you an idea of the comparison. It gives you an idea of what you can gain in cryptocurrency, because this is just the start. If you don't know, with XRP, I've been able to gain 500%, even more than that, right? With Jasmine Coin, I've been able to gain 1,000%. With Terra Luna Classic, I gained 70,000% within that position. It's crazy with how much you can gain in a speculative market that a lot of traditionalists will just write off immediately and say, we don't believe in this. It's honestly pretty interesting. So I want to know what you guys think. Have you had the comparison? Have you invested into traditional markets as well as the cryptocurrency market? What has given you the most gains throughout time? Especially if you're investing long term. If you're investing short term, it could be detrimental. Like your overall balance could die in literal days if you do things the wrong way in both markets. But let me know what you've gained the most in, percentage wise. Guys, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. See ya.